God's going to fix that. What you've done is not greater than God's mercy. I'm not going to give yourself a baseball bat to beat yourself up with. You got to forgive yourself because he's about to forgive you. That priest saved my life. Please pray for him. He's got lymphoma right now and he's fighting it. But he's like a grandfather to my children. His name is Father Jim Martell, for anybody who wants to pray for him. He's an amazing priest. And so he looked at me. I started to change my life. My kids found me praying by my bed every night. Even though Angela and I took forever to heal because I took so long to hurt her, it took a long time to show her I was different. And God had to do that. I couldn't do that. But Father looks at me and he's like, John, you've been helped by God. You need to do the same thing. You need to give back. I said, Father, what am I going to do? I'm a cokehead. That's all I'll ever be. I'm an addict. He goes, you know better than that. And so he said, you need to go to that men's conference. It helped you. So I go back to that conference, and there was a little-known priest at the time named Father Mike Schmitz there. You might have heard of him. And that was before Bible of the Year. He was just speaking and all that stuff. But I went that day, and I ran into another guy from my parish, and he had been to confession for the first time in 14 years. And so we went to an event in our parish that night, a fundraiser that Father Jim had put on the same night. And this guy Jay is running around the gym, and he's telling everybody his sins. He's telling everybody his sins. There's women and children in there, and he's talking about stuff he shouldn't be talking about. I'm like, ixnay on the shower, buddy, okay? Like, we don't need to be talking about that. So I grab him, and I said, Jay, you got to quit saying this stuff. There's women and children in here. Some of this stuff you got to keep to yourself. And he goes, man, I don't know why I feel this like this. It's just crazy. Whoa, I just feel great. And I said, man, you went to confession for the first time in 14 years. Like you've had an encounter with the Holy Spirit. And he goes, I'm cradle Catholic. I know God and I know Jesus. Well, it's the Holy Spirit. And I went, you've been Catholic your whole life and you don't know that? He goes, no. So I start telling him, and then the devil hit me in the back of the head and goes, what are you doing? You're never going to be more than what you've always been, a hypocrite, a liar, a drug addict, a loser. You're going to tell them about Jesus? And so I stopped and I said, Jay, there's 2 priests here. They're busy tonight, but I guarantee they'll meet with you next week. And he said, no, man, I want you speak about things in an everyday, regular way. And it's the first time I've actually started to understand this stuff. And please help me. And he wouldn't leave me alone. He was a salesman too. So he kept bothering me. And finally I said, all right, man, I'll go somewhere with you next week. He goes, pizza Tuesday night. So I go home and tell my wife I'm going to go have pizza and tell somebody about the Holy Spirit on Tuesday. And she's like, okay. And so I go to Mass the next morning on Sunday, and I come home and I say, God, if you want me to do this, you got to do it for me. What am I going to do? And I opened the Bible, and within 30 minutes, I had 8 pages written about the Holy Spirit, from the Ruah over the water in Genesis to Pentecost and beyond.